Alright guys, we are going to go over the answers for our Chapter 3 key terms, just to make sure you have the correct key terms set up with their definitions, because we will reference this as we go through our sections and our notes, and then as we go through like reviews and quizzes and things like that. So it's going to be important that you have the correct key terms labeled and marked. Um, if you go back through this video and you need to fix anything on your worksheet, you can do that and then just resubmit your copy, because this is a graded assignment as well. So our first questions are fill in the blank. So the definition is provided, and then using that word bank, you needed to identify what key term the definition went with. All right, our first question is when two or more elements are chemically combined, they form what? This is a compound. Question 2, during prophase, a doubled rod of condensed chromatin forms, which is called a chromosome. 3, a membrane that allows some substances to pass through while others cannot is considered selectively permeable. 4, a type of protein that speeds up a chemical reaction in a living thing is an enzyme. 5, the first stage of the cell cycle. This is where the cell grows. It's going to make a copy of the DNA and then it's going to prepare to divide as it works through other stages. This is considered interphase. 6, the very long organic molecules made of carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and phosphorus are considered nucleic acids. Seven, the process that provides energy for cells without using oxygen is considered fermentation. 8, the diffusion of water molecules through a selectively permeable membrane is osmosis. And please make sure you distinguish between the difference between osmosis and diffusion. Osmosis is a type of diffusion that happens with water molecules. We will get into some different labs and activities as well about these later on, so it is important to remember these. Question 9 then is the movement of materials through a cell membrane using cellular energy. This is considered active transport because it's using that energy. It has a more active role and response to how it has to move that material. Question 10, the small openings on the undersides of the leaves where carbon dioxide enters are called stomata. Question 11, smaller molecules that make up protein, and then there are 20 of these common molecules. These are amino acids. Question 12, any substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substances. This is one of your warm-ups, and this is called an element. Then 13, the movement of dissolved materials through a cell membrane without using energy is considered passive transport. Question 14, an energy-rich compound made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And examples are sugar and starch. This is considered a carbohydrate. And 15, the process by which cells obtain energy from glucose. That is called respiration. And so for the remaining 10 key terms, you are looking at the definition and then matching it with the key term that is listed. So for the first one, the stage of the cell cycle where the cell's nucleus divides into two new nuclei and the DNA is distributed into each new cell, is called mitosis. The energy-rich organic compound, such as a fat, oil, or wax made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, is considered a lipid. This plays an important role in the production of proteins. This is considered a nucleic acid, and it is RNA. The regular sequence of growth and division that cells undergo is considered the cell cycle. Large organic molecules made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and even some of them include sulfur. And examples are meat, eggs, and beans. This would be a protein. The process when a cell makes an exact copy of the DNA in its nucleus is considered replication, and this happens during the initial stages of the cell cycle. And then the process by which molecules move from an area of higher concentration to lower concentration is considered diffusion. The process where plants use energy from the sun to convert carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and sugars. This takes energy from the sun and creates food for the plant. This process is considered photosynthesis. The genetic material that carries information about an organism and is passed from parent to offspring is considered DNA. And then the final stage of the cell cycle, where the cell's cytoplasm divides, organelles are distributed, and two new cells are formed, is called cytokinesis. So once you have this document all set up and filled out, please double check and reference these answers again. And then make sure you have your key terms submitted and you will be good to go.